those cobwebs.
And I'll use the broom.
Does Keto use the broom?
There's been a lot of controversy surrounding Disney's upcoming remake of Snow White. Disney recently released a trailer for the new film, which sparked an additional round of controversy. We'll make comments on this new trailer throughout the video. Some time ago, this photo was leaked from the set of Snow White, which depicted some pretty unusual looking dwarves. The actor Peter Dinklage from the popular series Game of Thrones publicly stated he thought it would be insulting for Disney to cast people with dwarfism as dwarves in the movie. So instead, actors in the dwarfism community lost the chance to be casted and were replaced with CGI.
And as for the dwarves, sorry, diverse, magical, gender non-conforming, vertically challenged individuals, these things are absolute nightmare fuel. I mean, just look at them. Look at how jerky and unnatural their movements are. Look at their weird, rubbery, soulless faces.
Absolute nightmare fuel is a pretty good way to describe these dwarves. They're absolutely horrifying to look at, knowing that these are completely fake characters being drawn onto screen next to the real Snow White. Speaking of the real Snow White, the actress playing Snow White, Rachel Zegler, is probably the most controversial part of the new film. Interestingly, Rachel seems to have completely changed her attitude from before. Previously, she could barely hold back her disdain for the original story of Snow White.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power.
Rachel attacks the idea of men trying to win the hearts of women and clearly has contempt towards the original prince in Snow White. But now, for some reason, Rachel has been much more quiet and respectful towards the original film.
The cartoon's so beloved. It's like a monumental moment in film history.
Yeah.
It was like the first feature-length cartoon movie, to the point where it won honorary Oscars and all of these amazing things that happened for that film are the reason that you and I really get to sit here today, because it made Disney what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So of course there's like this pressure of being the first one, having to bring to life the first one, and obviously that's come with a lot of pressure that I've put on myself, and also, I mean, much like Hunger Games, there's just a very dedicated group of people who love Disney cartoons. I'm one of them. You know, I love everything that the Disney company has put out in the past 1,000,000 years, 100 years this year. And so
I wonder if Disney realized how much Rachel's public statements were hurting the public's perception of the upcoming film.
Old Rachel's been suspiciously quiet in recent months, almost like she's been told by Disney that every time she opens her mouth and expresses another dumb, entitled, disrespectful and poorly thought out opinion, she actively shaves millions of dollars off the film's box office total. The last time she made a major appearance in relation to this film, it was during a very carefully controlled conversation with Halle Bailey, and if you know anything about body language and tone of voice, it's pretty funny to compare the quiet, demure, soft-spoken and thoughtful Zegler in that interview with the brash, outspoken, abrasively overconfident version we saw just a few months earlier.
It turns out it's not a very good idea to trash the original source material of the movie you're playing the lead for. It's not just Prince Charming that is apparently too outdated for this new retelling of Snow White. It's also the idea of women doing any kind of housework. And really quickly, if you want to support this channel and help spread biblical truth to more people, I would be so grateful if you would click that subscribe button. Take a look at a comparison of the original movie's Whistle While You Work song and Rachel Zegler's new version, and see if you can spot the difference.
Now you wash the dishes.
Now you wash the dishes.
You tidy up the room.
You tidy up the room.
You clean the fireplace.
You clean those cobwebs.
And I'll use the broom.
Does Keto use the broom?
Notice how in the original movie, Snow White offers to clean up the dwarves' home with a little help from her animal friends. It's a little token of respect and appreciation on her part in return for giving her food and shelter. But the horrifying notion of a woman doing any kind of domestic chores, even as a temporary response to a very specific situation, clearly doesn't gel with modern sensibilities. Because as we all know, modern independent women would never be seen dead sweeping up, or tidying, or cleaning dirty dishes. All of that stuff just kind of happens by itself now, I guess. So in the new version, she forces the dwarves themselves to clean up the place. That's right, they take her into their home, offer her protection and food and everything else she needs, and in return she forces them to do even more work for her. This is the point at which identity politics, storytelling, and simple common sense all come into conflict with each other, and the latter two are sacrificed in favor of the former.
So, in the original Snow White, she cleans the cottage after woodland animals take her there. She's just happy that she has somewhere to remain hidden when her stepmother is trying to kill her, and when she learns the 7 dwarves live there, she offers to cook and clean the place for them as a sign of her gratitude. But in this modern version, Snow White breaks into the dwarf house. I mean, she does that in the original too. Breaking and entering is a theme in both, let's admit. But in this one, she breaks in and then forces the dwarves to clean for her. These dwarves who've been toiling away all day get to come home and get bossed around by the woman whose life they're helping to save, and who they didn't invite into their house in the first place. They have to tidy up the place and sing while they do it.
Someone tweeted, "They're just retelling the same story." No, they aren't. Listen to the delivery. Listen to the tone, the change in language. Look at the body language. How are the scenes framed? Who is the focal point? The "you tidy up the room" Zeggy delivers is vastly different from the way the VA delivered the line. I love digging into the psychology of speech and listening to these changes and inflections. They can tell you a lot about a person. To me, this comes off so condescending. Ziggles is above them all. She's not here to help. She's here to order. And on top of that, the angles and the way the camera moves versus cuts to focus on other things. The most egregious part of Rachel's modern version of Snow White is the destruction of traditional gender roles. Not only is Rachel too modern to want to get married, she is also too modern to want to do chores around the house. This is destructive to the way God created men and women to complement one another, since it portrays women as being completely independent of and not needing any man.
One of the obvious yet unspoken consequences of the feminist movement is the feminization of men and the emasculation of men. Men no longer know how, nor have the permission to be men. And because of that, we have fathers who are uncomfortable stepping into their role of priest, prophet, provider, and protector in their home. It is a father's responsibility to represent his family before God and to represent God before his family. It is a father's responsibility to train and disciple his children, according to Ephesians 6:1-4.
When the Snow White trailer was released on X, Rachel added the comment, "And always remember, free Palestine." Now, what in the world does Palestine have to do with the new Snow White movie? The answer is pretty disturbing to think about. Hen Mazig tweeted, "Rachel Zegler, who plays Snow White in Disney's latest film, is facing serious backlash for dehumanizing her co-star Gal Gadot, who portrays the stepmother." Zegler's out-of-context tweet has been condemned for inciting anti-Semitic online attacks against Gadot, igniting outrage among fans. A Redditor commented, "She's trying to appease the mobs so they don't cancel her for appearing in a movie with a Jew." And another Redditor responded, "Ding ding ding, exactly. I got paid my Disney money, but don't think I'm friends with that Jew over there." This is some really disturbing stuff. Rachel is acting alongside Gal Gadot in the movie, and the only way to interpret Rachel's tweet that makes any sense is that Rachel is embarrassed to be seen alongside a Jew like Gal Gadot, so she needs to tweet something against Israel to show her followers that she stands against the state of Israel.
A lot of the YouTube comments on the Snow White trailer, however, were about Gal Gadot. So here is the thing. Gal Gadot is a beautiful woman, obviously. Gal Gadot is, she's Israeli. And that's a no-no to the lefties. They don't like that. That's super duper bad. Really bad. Really mean and bad. So Rachel Zegler, who again is the worst person, she decided that she had to comment on the trailer. And here is what she commented. Quote, "I love you all so much. Thank you for the love and for 120 million views on our trailer in just 24 hours. What a whirlwind. I'm in the thick of rehearsals for Romeo and Juliet, so I'm gonna get out of here. Bye for now. Heart, apple, bird of peace." And then she added, "And always remember, free Palestine." Maybe it was just that Rachel Zegler wanted to tweak Gal Gadot one more time because she is Israeli. She has stood up very strongly and proudly in favor of Israel in the midst of an exterminationist, eliminationist war by terrorist groups all around Israel. Whatever it is, Disney once again proving itself to be incompetent in the hiring of its talent.
Meanwhile, there is another Snow White movie that the Daily Wire has also been working on, starring Brett Cooper, which actually promises to generally stay true to the original Snow White movie. I don't know about you, but if I was going to watch a Snow White remake, there's just no question that I would rather watch the Daily Wire's version over the Disney version.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is fairest of them all?
It is you, my queen. Snow White.
Father. Are you ready to discover the price for using magic?
Yet another kingdom falls to your glory. But on this day, one has come of age, fairer even than you. She is the reason your powers wane.
Who is it?
Snow White.
She is my undoing?
She is also your salvation queen. Take her heart in your hand, and you shall never again weaken or age.
Immortality.
The evil queen. We have to stop her.
This is what a Snow White remake is supposed to be. No agenda, no destruction of traditional Christian values, just telling a good story and entertaining people who watch it. I think the takeaway from all of this is that Disney has completely betrayed the trust of all Christians and parents. It's promoting ideologies and agendas that are completely contrary to what God has revealed in the Bible. Disney is now a very, very dangerous place, especially for children.
Satan's war starts in the womb and never lets up. It's carried through every medium possible to destroy children. Broken homes, sinful parents, in every electronic form of media, educational system, it's everywhere. Satan's war on children, by the way, is a war on God because the children belong to him.
Hi, my name is Mike. I'm a deacon, a husband, a father, a software engineer, and an amateur maker of videos. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to help me in my mission to spread biblical truth, just subscribe and watch these videos until the end, which will help the YouTube algorithm recommend these videos to more people. I'm committed to using the skills and gifts God has given me to glorify Him and communicate biblical truth, and I would be so grateful if you would come be a part of what I'm building. You can visit my website at joyfulexile.com to learn more about me and what I'm working on. I hope you're having a blessed day. I will see you in the next video, and remember, this world is not our home.